Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $3 a month for this and other games. So, on the last Let's Play, we talked to Murdoch, who was like, hey, you might want to take a look at this picture we took of Cliff, which is him standing on a rock shirtless, and there was something in the background, which now that I think of it, kind of looked like a mixture between SCP-1471, I think. You know, the one that everybody put some boobies on and has a skull-faced dog, but then also mixed with a bear. Yeah. But then also, now we're Cliff, and we took a look at the church and went to a bee thing. But then Sela's like, hey, we might want to check over here. Something about corpses? I think that's what it was. So, yeah, we're going in that direction. You set my face. And begin. We walk for a few minutes towards the center of the cornfield. I hear bees swarming, or at least things that look like bees. Bee flies. And they're swarming a large chunk of meat on the ground. It looks like the remains of a pack mule and a winter wretch. This is awful. How did it die? This isn't the only one. 5 penned animals were slaughtered last night that I've seen so far. Is this the work of that animal that was tracking us in the wood? What does this mean? Sela says something. It sounds like an awful lot. Like, no way out on foot or cart. What does he mean by that? Don't concern yourself. I think I have the right to be concerned. I hear a voice of the Reverend walking through the field in a surprisingly rapid gait. I could hear all the way across the field that you both weren't speaking Albion. What is the commotion all about? Sela suddenly looks very anxious. Sela spits on the ground and turns away. Wait, Sela? Or is it Yiska? Oh, Yiska suddenly looks anxious. Address me, Sela Begay. He keeps walking as he disappears into the cornfield. That man is out of order. I apologize for his behavior, Reverend. I'll talk to him tonight. I'm less concerned with him than I am with you, Yiska. I know that you're not speaking Albion with him. It was urgent. An old habit, nothing more. A habit that I thought had died, Yiska. You know what we must do. Come along, Mr. Van Halwick. I'm not sure what's going on right now, but they're both tense. Come along where? To the sink. Where else? There's a small lean-to against the church, with a sink and a spigot. Cannell pulls out a bucket from beneath the sink, producing a white-gray slab of chalky substance. He slices a sliver of the stuff and holds it in front of the bear's face. Remember? The bear isn't looking directly at him. Yes, Reverend. Open. I'm not sure what's happening in front of my eyes, but I don't like it one bit. Reverend? What is that? It's soap, Mr. Van Halwick. The cheapest you can make with lard and wood ash. It's the only thing you need to clean a dirty mouth, though. I mean, this thing doesn't look too bad. And also, I just feel like it's going to make shit worse, you know? What would stopping him entail? Like, physically stopping him or just being like, hey, talk. What happens if we click that? No, you can't? The words are blurred from my mouth before I can stop them. Reverend tilts his head, stares. I can't do it, Mr. Van Hoek. Let's just... This is not my home, not my country. These people were strange and barbaric to me. As hard as it is to watch, I can see the bear take the bar with very little hesitation and put it in his mouth. The Reverend nods and places his wing like a solemn parent to the bear's back as he watches the bear choke and sputter on spuds. That's enough. He speaks gently. Now spit it out. Some of the foam that hits the grass is pink. Despite forced tears, Yiska looks up with a determined facial expression. Wait, is it like rough stuff? Because I thought it was just soap. He heaves as he continues to spit. Don't let this memory fade as quickly as the last. Yes, Reverend. I want to say something, but when I start, the bear looks at me with the first flash of anger I've seen in years. He's angry at me. Wait, why at me? Like, what did I do? Well, if he's angry at me, then... Okay. Using time powers. Like that time we accidentally died. Can't. I don't know before I can saw them. The Reverend tilts his head at me and stares. I can't do it, Mr. Van Hoek. He looks annoyed, like some sort of petulant child making a scene. Like I'm some sort of petulant child at a scene, rather than point out what he's doing is dangerous. Wait, is it? Lie is toxic. It can leave chemical burns inside of his mouth. Reverend, please. Yiska's face looks very calm. Too calm. Don't pay him any mind. Give me the soap. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Of course, my son. As hard as to watch, her take the bar, nods, snuff, spit out. Yiska looks up and heaves continues to it. Yes, Reverend. I want to say something, but when I start... Why is he angry at me? Okay, let's pick my first choice. I swear that he's angry at me. What are the two of these men talking about, Mr. Van Hoek? Does he want me to lie? Does he want me to tell the truth? I don't know. This is horrible. Something about the corpses, I think. Something from the woods might be killing all of the stock animals. Cadwell looks at me like I've lost my mind. Like I've lost my mind? All the stock animals? He turns to Yiska. Go home and clean yourself up. Leave us. He muffles something like, yes, Reverend, but it's impossible to tell what he really said. Cadwell takes a good look at me, as if I'm a child who dragged mud into his house, and trembles. Cornelius von Hardwick. The moment you stepped into the settlement, I've seen nothing but insubordination and instigation. But I haven't done anything, Reverend. Why are we still wearing the hat anyways? Does it matter if he did? It's certainly somebody you brought along. I just made a loyal man clean his mouth until it bled for the first time in 15 years. These are extraordinary circumstances for the most nefarious in the most nefarious sense. It grabs me by the shoulder and drags me to the whitewash shack. He unlatches the locks and throws me in. And remove the church property you were wearing at once. Sir, this is gross overreaction to any sort of offense I could have afflicted you with. Address your quarrels with me at once, or we'll be reporting this to either my father or Mr. Hendricks. I look through the screen door, covered in bars, expecting to look back at me, angrily, ready to quarrel, but that's not the case. His back is to me, and he's running away. What? I try to open the door, but I know it's locked from the outside. My body thuds uselessly against the sound of shaped metal. Cadwell, or Caldwell, come back here at once. Caldwell! I try to rattle the door, but it's just too heavy. I'm starting to notice how warm it is in here. I'm sweating, and I try not to panic about how I haven't drank any water in hours. I bang again, hoping to see the man or a young girl who is out in the lawn, but I hear nobody. My arms and the back of my neck are already wet. I feel a little dizzy now, but I try not to panic. Most of the things here are shovels, pots, and protective clothes. I can see there's something behind this counter. A hand shovel. I look at the floor in sign relief. Dirt. I should be able to dig myself out. I have to be careful not to waste energy or moisture. I look outside for anybody. Help! Help me! I'm stuck in this shack. Nobody still. So, that's it then. Gonna have to dig. I am brow and look for the clearest space against the wall I can find. The first scoop of earth is very warm, very dry, and kicks up a cloud of dust. I have to turn my head not to inhale any. Below that I'm happy to feel a cool layer. It's not as though tough to move as I thought it would be, but there's a lot of it. I think I see where the wall of the shack ends and the beginning of the earth starts. Then I see concrete blocks. My heart sinks, knowing I'll have to dig deeper, but there's no time to waste. I can't tell how long I do this for. The lighting outside has changed, and I still hear nobody. I stand up to check for people every so often. Nobody comes on the lawn. Cadwell must have instructed them not to. Real deal, ambitions or no, this behavior is not acceptable. One of the first things I intend to do after breaking out of this godforsaken cage is to find a telegraph machine and wire everything I know to my father and Mr. Hendricks. I do another scoop, then another. I thought I was on scoop 400 or so, but I started to lose count around the 300s. Everything goes sideways for a moment, and I stop to breathe. I'm really thirsty. I take another scoop and flinch when I hear a clang. What? I dig as quickly as I can with both hands. No. There's a mixture of rock and concrete below. I can't get out. The dirt was poured on top of rocks and concrete. What is the purpose of this? My heart's beating faster. I'm starting to feel dizzy. I throw down the shovel in frustration, but the side catches the side of my nail. The awful noise comes out of me, and I start to bleed a little. Oh, it doesn't look that deep. It doesn't look that deep. You. Who's that? Brush yourself clean and come out of the dirt, you fool. Don't you say another word. Don't you say anything until you unlock this door. Relax. He jingles the keys in front of me. I'll let you out after you answer some of my questions. What questions? Like, who among your party would have the strength to cleave the head off a pack mule with a slicing weapon in one blow? I freeze. You couldn't possibly be blaming me for that. He looks me up and down, and then scoffs. Certainly not you directly. What about the mountain lion? He might be big enough. Sam? I don't think Sam knows how to use weapons. Besides, if he could, I don't think he could take something's head off. Then what would? We found 8 carcasses already. 8? 8. If I don't stop who's doing it before long, we won't have any long-distance transportation in or out of the settlement. Without a steady chain of supplies, we'll be behind schedule for all of our exports. Why do your exports matter if you're self-sustaining? Because there's no harm in skimming some of the cream off the top here and there. Imbecile. You're terrible. No. I simply live in the real world. Your father mentioned that you don't, and I see what he means. My father? What do you mean? He said you're a little funny. Perhaps not formed quite right. Can't be trusted to make necessary choices for the good of yourself or your family. No, he didn't. It was a bit of harsh to me when I first heard it. I thought to myself, certainly, all of God's creations are made as he intended. But it seems as though you're hell-bent on establishing something other than what God made you. What on earth is this Clifford Tibbetts nonsense? Who told you about that? I didn't share that with him. Who hasn't? Don't you know that people talk? Do you really think that the conversations you air with other people are sealed into small boxes that only you can open with the right key? He laughs. I'm trying not to cry. Do you really think that becoming a different man is as simple as putting on makeup and wearing your father's belt? I can read your entire story by your walk, your gait, your tone, your letters, and the impressions that men of character have sent to me in private. People have been talking terribly about you for a long time, before I even ever met you. I can see now, right before me, that they are exonerated in their honesty. Who's been talking? My father? My mentor? My traveling companions? My employer? Is it all of them? I see before me an emotional, impulsive, gormless thing, playing as a man, but stuck as something like a child, a thing. A thing that's neither man, nor child, nor anything I want to near God's children, nor his creations. Why are you being this cruel? The more I talk, the more I hear my voice struggling to get any noise out. My tongue is parched and my throat is sore. I am so dizzy now from the sickness and this unbearable weight that I feel in my body. I can't see straight. He shakes his head. At this point, nothing you can say will convince me that you are worthy of this partnership. I'm afraid there won't be any deal between you or me. Your reputation wasn't solid to begin with, Mr. Von Holwick, and everywhere you go, it seems to crumble just a little bit more beneath your feet. Now, you have brought your misfortune to me and my people. I'll let you out of here, but I want you gone from this place first thing in the morning. He pulls a key from his pocket. It's really weird that... Do you see that right there? That there's a red dot? We'll see. And I'll be telling Mr. Hendricks to send somebody more to send? Oh, send somebody more rep. I hear a giant thud, like a tree trunk falling. Cadwell screams. Caldwell. Get away! I said get away! I can't see what's going on, but I hear a tearing noise. For some reason, I start to hear the bees again. Or at least something that sounds familiar to the bees. Cadwell screams more. And you can see through the slats and the bars that he's on the ground. His wing is bent the wrong way, and his breathing is raspy. God help me! His voice is different. It sounds wrong, like he's inhaling while he speaks. I reposition myself to look outside. I don't see anything, but I hear breathing. Soft, slow breathing. I want to back away from the door, but I don't want to make any noise. I know whatever out there is strong. It could rip the door open. It might even already know that I'm in here, and it's just waiting to rip off the door. I don't know how long I stand there, listening to Cadwell cry out in pain, or listening for breathing sounds that I can't tell if I'm hearing or imagining anymore. But it gets darker, and nobody knows I'm in here but the priest, and he can't get up. I just start to cry. I hear a whistling sound. Just as I start to cry. In the mist, I see somebody big walk this way. They have horns. The light of the moon reflects off their glasses. Avery, I think. My heart swells as when I see Doc Avery. I call out to him. I'm saved. But I can't make a sound. My voice is shot. Airy, breathing, rasping sounds are all I can make. Huh? What do we have here? Help me. You have to get me inside. You look like you're in real bad shape, Reverend. Broken arm. Broken rib. Half-collapsed lung by the sound of you, I wager. I'd hate to move you. Could cause any internal bleeding you might have to get worse. The Reverend shakes his head, terrified. Don't err. I'm sorry, Reverend, but I can't really tell what you're saying. I see the heroine look in my direction, like he's asking me for help. I try to talk again, but it's not working. You could try to bang on the door. Inside. The dog hunches on his legs and watches him from a squatting position. You know, if you want help, all you have to do is ask, Reverend. Put me inside. That doesn't sound much like Albion to me. He's thrashing on the ground now. His breathing sounds a whole lot worse. I guess I can't really help those who don't know how to ask. He stands up straight, watching the heroine writhe. But do you want to know the worst thing about all of this, Reverend? The heroine is spasming in the wrong way now. With enough time, they'll send another one of you who looks the same and acts the same. I'm wondering if this isn't actually Avery. But I'm comfortable now, knowing that you're the one who put the soap in her mouth. Oh, that's how she died? He wipes his glasses. Have a good night, Reverend. He readjusts his backpack. I know I will. And he starts to whistle. Then he starts to walk away. I panic again. I cry out to him, trying to force a noise. But there's nothing. I take the trowel and bang on the bars, hoping he hears something. My heart leaps as his ears perk up. But he looks left, then right. And he starts to run. He's running because I scared him. He's so far away now. I start to think again that I'm really going to die here. And then I wonder who I'm going to die as. Will people remember who I wanted to be? Will any of them see me as I saw myself? Probably not. I start to wonder about what my tombstone will look like. It reads just Cornelius. And it's buried nowhere near the rest of my family. I want to think that coming here was a mistake. But staying home would have been a mistake too. The mistake is me. Professor Tibbets? I hear Sam. I must be hallucinating. Uh, no wait, why are you beating on the door with a shovel? We were looking for you all day. Sam, there's stains on the ground over there. There's stains on the ground over there. Oh, I don't care about that right now. I guess that's where, what's his name was. We found Mr. Tibbets. He sort of smells, though. What are you doing in there? I try to speak again, but it hurts. It was locked. Why do you sound like that? Sam, there's a scrape of cloth over there that looks like a clergyman's robe. I think it must have belonged to the priest. You sure? It has to be. Do you think something might have happened to him? Like with the other animals the guards keep finding? He was old, right? But something's must have happened to him if it's on the ground. That's too bad. I didn't know him. I started beating the door with a shovel to get his attention. Whoa there, partner. Calm down, and we can figure a way to get you out. I try to shout key. I think his lips are saying key. There are keys on a ring over there in the dirt. I beat the door again desperately. Murdoch steps in close and winces. Oh God, he looks dehydrated. He fumbles with the keys, and within moments I hear the heavy latch lift. I stumble out, and Sam catches me. Something's wrong with him. We need to get him back to the hotel as soon as possible. Sam flips me onto his shoulder, but something is off. He should be holding onto sticks. He's holding onto 2 sticks, and he's only using one of his legs. Wait, is Sam doing that? Murdoch is offering him his arm as support, and they're walking like contestants in a race, where one is tied to the other's ankle. Easy enough. He's lighter than his luggage. I bury my face in his chest and feel myself floating. I hear brushes in the distance. The wind. The chirp of crickets. And then it all gets muffled again. I feel somebody pouring something down my throat. It hurts at first, but once I start drinking, I'm desperate for more. Slow down, or else you'll chip the mug. I sit up on the bed. I think with us getting to that moment, that's a good time to call it. Boy, I didn't think any of that was gonna happen. That just kind of came out of nowhere. Well, with being put in a cabin, and then a monster attacking him, supposedly. And then Avery being like, "Oh, you're injured. Well, hopefully you die. Bye." Stuff. But yeah, the end of this Let's Play. So comment, guys, I like comments. Say what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, always. If you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to help it grow. Please remember to spay your animals to help control the pet population. And until next time, let's play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. So thanks and see ya.